I'm your host, J.Mo, and welcome to Mental as Anyone. This is where we get real about mental health, the struggles, the breakthroughs, and what actually helps.
I definitely grappled with the diagnosis, but now I'm like, yeah, it's a part of me, and I love it.
I'm open about my own journey, online, in my book, and here with you. Now, I'm joined by guests sharing honest lessons to support you.
You can always be happier, healthier, more resilient, more empathetic. You could always improve your mental health.
So join me as we learn together that we are all as mental as anyone.
But I think in retrospect, and as an adult, you realize that everyone's going through their own version of what you're going through.
We all need support, and this show simply would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. This season, Amazon has played a special role in how we bring this show to life. The night before a recording, we'll jump on and order something small for our guests, and by the next day, it's there for them. It's those little moments that help people feel seen. So this is a genuine thank you for being part of those conversations, one delivery at a time. Amazon Prime offers free next day delivery on millions of eligible items across Australia. Shop online at amazon.com.au. Chemist Warehouse has been with us from day one, and they are there for you every day with over 550 stores across the country. It's the home for variety and value, giving you everything you need to stay balanced and healthy. Visit in-store or online at chemistwarehouse.com.au to find out what feels right for you. I actually am more excited about this podcast than I am about many, and I hate to say that because each episode offers something so incredibly different. But I really like this person a lot for many, many reasons, and I've been hounding them to come on here for a long time. You might know her as Quinny. You might know her as an advocate for many of us. And we'll decide what us represents throughout the conversation. She's an actor, an author, a podcaster, just an all-round colourful person. Chloe Hayden is on the podcast. She is here with me right now.
Yay.
You're hard to pin down.
Yes.
You dip in and you dip out. You're like, I'm not in the city right now, so I'm hard to get you in the flesh. But you're here.
I'm here. We made it work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, this podcast, Mental as Anyone, is about shock horror, mental health. So it's a safe space. No gotchas, and it's just I just want to have a chat, and so I'm just going to ask you questions, and I hope I don't offend. So I'm going to start by
I am an open book.
I'm going to start by asking about language. When I said you're an advocate, you were an ally, I believe, for queer rights. You're an advocate for inclusivity. What language do you like to use for yourself? You were diagnosed as being on the spectrum. I don't even know what language I
was
use.
originally diagnosed as having Asperger's syndrome when I was 13, which is a horrifically outdated term that is rooted in Nazi Germany and a really, really, really evil man who was a very big part of Nazi Germany called Hans Asperger. So we don't use that language anymore because it's gross. Yeah.
It's shit and not nice.
No. So I'm autistic.
Woohoo!
Yay! That's the language I use. I'm autistic. I know it's very, particularly for journalists, it's very, very common to use the term on the spectrum, living with autism, has autism. And I know that it's actually taught in a lot of like journalism degrees and stuff to use that sort of language. I don't like it. Yeah. I don't live with autism. I live with my husband and my 37 animals. I also don't have it. Having it insinuates that it's something that can be taken away from me, which is rooted again back to that language of autism being an illness, of it being a sickness, of it being something that is not intrinsically a part of a natural variant of the human genome. I'm autistic. I will always be autistic. I always have been autistic, and nothing can or should take that away from me. So I'm just autistic.
Just in terms of the language then, if I was to write a story about you and reference autism, which I wouldn't, I'm trying to think of why I would say who is autistic or something.
I mean, like Chloe is autistic. Like if there's an article about me, like I'm very specific with journalists now because it is such common terminology to say, oh, like you live with autism or like you have autism. You know, and I just find that language quite almost fear-mongering and like quite sad. Like it is written in a way that feels very sad. And feels like something you should say like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're living with that after it. But like, I'm not sorry that I'm autistic. I'm sorry that you're typical. That's so embarrassing. Like, I'm just autistic. So if you were going to reference me, I would say like, oh, this is my friend Chloe. She's autistic. Or whatever.
If you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have. So I'm trying to change. I'm old, so I'm trying to change my language.
I use that language, and I know that the community prefers that language. But also, if you're part of that community and that language doesn't resonate for you, that's fine. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to tone police you and choose and tell you what you have to be and what you have to call yourself. If you prefer using a certain language, or if you grew up using a certain language, I know where your heart is. I can tell you what I prefer, and I'm going to gently correct you if like you use the wrong language when you're referencing me. But when you're referencing yourself or it's coming from a good place, I'm not going to go, don't you dare say that. And like, I don't care,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah. So I have ADHD. Can I say that? Because I do. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I don't know if I live with ADHD.
Yeah, look, I think it's also so interesting from like a grammatical perspective because like, yeah, ADHD is similar to autism where it's like this is something you're born with, you will have for your whole life. But I think like grammatically, I don't know if there's a word that is like I say I'm autistic and ADHD.
Right.
I think grammatically, I don't know if there's a term that is like the autistic equivalent of ADHD, you know, but language is weird and silly and strange, and I understand where people's hearts are coming from and where the place is. So
and rules are meant to be broken.
Exactly. I mean, like English is made up. Like grammar is made up. Grammar rules are made up. It's all made up. Like most of it by Shakespeare. Like, you know, like, yeah, say whatever makes sense to you and whatever makes sense to your label and your identity.
I like what you said about I know where your heart is, because for me, around my identity, intent has a lot to say.
For sure.
And I think in society we've got to the point where we don't allow people to get things wrong, and if we don't allow them to get wrong with a good intent,
No, I agree.
Then we can't improve ourselves.
Yes.
Because then people are going to be too scared to say anything. And I'd rather have an informed, confronting discussion with someone where I can educate and give them some truth about my lived experience than not have that conversation and them live in the dark.
100%.
About perhaps sexuality or lived experience around trauma or suicide or those things.
Yeah, people.
For me,
no, I agree. People, like you hit the nail on the head. People aren't allowed to grow anymore, and that's something I've noticed, especially so in the last couple of years in the online space. Cancel culture is huge. And it's unnecessary cancel culture, and it is put in the wrong areas. And I can say this for a fact because let's look at literally any male singer / celebrity that is has history of abuse of partners, of any name a word, and they've done it, and they're still selling albums. Chapel Roan says, hey guys, can you maybe not take photos of me when I'm out by myself? It makes me uncomfortable. And she's cancelled. Like, it, can I swear on this podcast?
Fuck, yeah.
It fucking pisses me off. It's so, we pick and choose who is allowed to say certain things. And if you have a look at the record of who's allowed to say certain things, it is always the same men.
What?
The same white het men and a woman. And I've noticed this in the disability space, particularly so in the last couple of years. There is so much lateral violence in the disability space where There is so much projected anger in the wrong spaces at the wrong people. People are angry. Of course they are. Disability rights have been taken away in our own country, but globally. Of course people are angry, but they're directing this anger at the wrong people in the wrong spaces for the wrong issues. And it's causing so many more people to not speak out because there's this little echo chamber of people feeling like they have to be right all the time and that you're not allowed to get things wrong. And people are too scared. Like, I see TikTok videos all the time and Instagram posts all the time of going, let's all cancel this celebrity because they said this one thing, and here's a whole carousel as to every single reason why this person is problematic. And a lot of the time there's no reason behind it, or it's rumors, or it's just simply not true, or it's taken so far out of context. But people are terrified to not agree with the people that are making these posts because then they will also get put into this like cancellation thing. People are too scared to speak up anymore. And it means that we're not getting the advocacy that we need, that we're not getting the support that we need. And that when someone wants to speak up about an issue, they feel like they have to be a professional on said issue or they can't speak up about it. And that's why we're not getting anywhere.
Do you ever worry about being cancelled?
Babe, I have been cancelled. Look today. Someone's canceling me today. Like I find I'm very bad at Googling myself because I have really severe rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Yes! And I am in the entertainment industry, and everyone that's in the entertainment industry is a narcissist, and we got into the industry because we want people to
like us.
Like that is, yes. And so my entire self-perception is based on people liking me. And so when people like me, you're like, yay, I'm liked, I'm valid, I'm allowed to exist. And then something I say will be taken out of context. A rumor will come out that has no grounding in it. And then half the internet is going, cancel her, remove her platform. And it's like, I'm getting canceled left, right, and center all the time. I think I don't know anyone that's not.
Does it worry you?
It did for a really, really long time. There was a period, maybe 9 months ago, where it was getting so bad. Every single mention that I had on TikTok was like a 15-minute long like video essay as to why I'm the worst person to ever exist. I was getting tagged in these like carousel posts, these like full-on essays. I was getting death threats. It was really, really horrific for a long time. To the point, and I have a very bad sense of self, and that comes from growing up neurodivergent and being told that everything I know about myself and the world around me is wrong. And so for my whole life, I've had to use other people's experiences and other people's opinions on me to know if I was doing the right thing so I could exist and so I could survive. And so when the only things I'm seeing on the internet are people telling me that I'm an awful person, I believed it.
Why were you an awful person? We don't want to rehash that, but is it something you said, or was it a character you played, or was it I don't want to rehash the specific moment, but people just have an opinion on something you do, or something you may or not do, or something you wear, or
everything. When you are a disabled woman and you exist, people don't like that, and people don't like people were having discussions about my identity and about what my identity was in discussions that I was never invited into.
Right.
And wasn't allowed to be invited into. And if I attempted to have the conversation, they would push me out of it. I wasn't allowed to have autonomy in my own brain or in my own body publicly. And this affected me so much for so long until it got to the point where I was going to delete every single social presence I had. I was going to delete my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook. I didn't want to be here anymore because I was so certain that I must be a really, really awful person. And it got to a point where I had to make this choice. I was standing at this, kind of cliff face, if you will, and I had to make a decision on whose opinions mattered to me. And I think everyone has to make this decision, but particularly people that are in the entertainment industry or are in the public eye, we have to make a decision on whose opinions matter to us. And I learned whose opinions mattered to me, and to go to those people if I didn't know myself or if I wasn't sure if I was a good person. And I went to people that I could trust, who I knew would tell me if I fucked up, and who would tell me if I did say maybe the wrong thing. And also would tell me when I wasn't doing the wrong thing. And it was really, really hard, but I really had to push myself outside of this echo chamber and learn that there is such a greater existence outside of this chamber, and who I am outside of the internet is the real version of me. Like, I had to go and touch grass, you know?
Because it is easy for us to just live in that world.
It is so easy.
And easy for us to forget ourselves in that world.
Yes.
Because the real world for me is I couldn't give a fuck about going to a red carpet. I want to be with my family in Canberra, going to my favourite cafe, Tilly's, and chilling out and, you know, wearing tracky ducks and Ugg boots. Like, I do not care. I love the work I do.
Yeah.
And I love some of the celebrities I know and I'm friends with.
Yeah, of course.
But I do not give a shit about that.
I think you need to be that way. Like, and I love the entertainment industry, and it's never going to be lost on me how privileged I am to be in the position that I am. Like, I grew up watching the Logies and the actors every single year, and like wishing and praying to be in those spaces. Like, the people that I have in my phone contacts now, I had on my walls like 6 years ago, you know? Like, it is never going to be lost on me how lucky I am to be in this position. And I, like, the day that magic is lost on me is the day that I'll leave the industry.
Who's in your phone that you had on your wall 6 years ago?
I don't tell.
Just the name, not their numbers.
No, I wouldn't do that anyway. Listen, like, just like a lot of singers that I loved my whole life, and like just artists whose work I've always really, really admired and looked up to. But like, I love this industry. And yeah, like the day that it loses the magic is the day I leave, because I never want to become resentful of this industry. But with that being said, this industry has such an echo chamber in it, and it is really, really easy to get ourselves lost in trying to stay relevant and like make like, what should I post and what should I wear and how do I stay relevant and who do I talk to and how do I work it? How do I work this industry? It's all just so tiring, man. Like, similarly, like, I find myself the happiest, and like, when I don't know who Chloe is, I go surfing and I ride my horses and I go diving and I hang out with my friends and I do things that are Chloe things and that have been Chloe things way before I got into this industry. And that's when I quite literally touch grass and go, that's Chloe.
I don't know if this will get me cancelled. I've been cancelled equally as many times as I can count, but I'm very good at saying I'm wrong and admitting when I'm wrong, or made a mistake, and I make many. I feel uncomfortable with the word disabled.
Okay.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. Why is that?
I think you've probably got some internalized ableism that you haven't worked through yet.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think a lot of us do. I understand why the term disability makes you uncomfortable. I understand why a lot of people are uncomfortable with the word. I'm not. I'm really uncomfortable with the term differently abled. That makes me feel really uncomfortable. I am a disabled person, and that's not a dirty word.
Is that, yeah. Probably because traditionally we've thought of a disability as someone that is, like my cousin is quadriplegic, or someone that is.
Well, even look at let's look at wheelchair users. Most of our first experiences with wheelchair users is you're in primary school and a man in a wheelchair comes in and says, I ended up in this because of a car crash.
Or diving into a pool and not.
Or, a lot of us, our first experience of disability is if you're not careful, you will end up disabled. We are taught from such a young age that disability is the worst thing that you can be. And that if you're not careful with yourself, if you make wrong choices, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you end up disabled. And so for so many of us, it is intrinsically taught to us that it is a dirty word, because that's where our first experience of it come from. I've got a lot of internalized ableism with my physical disabilities. I learned very early on to be comfortable with my different and with my disabled brain. That's something that I've been comfortable with, and that I'm very, very comfortable with. I also have a disabled body, and that is something that I am still battling with a lot of internalized ableism over, and that I do feel icky about when I verbally say I'm physically disabled. That doesn't feel nice to me, and it's because there's a lot of internalized ableism that's still attached to that for me.
I guess I don't want to sound like I'm saying that an able-bodied person is better than a disabled person, so maybe that's why I feel uncomfortable as well, because I don't know. I'm just trying to process myself and think, and this isn't a therapy moment for me, but I'm trying to work out why it makes me feel uncomfortable, or what it is internally that makes me feel uncomfortable. And yeah, I got you a present.
What?
So I went on Amazon and they deliver within 24 hours, and I ordered you just a little gift.
Wait, oh my God, I love presents.
To you, I can.
Wait, I'm nervous.
Started opening it.
Wait,
it's just a little gift, but I was thinking of you. I like to buy.
Wait, what's your love language? Is your love language
Gifts.
giving? I love giving presents, and I watch them like this.
Yeah.
Wait, don't do that for me. I'm nervous. Wait, oh my gosh. Wait, this is so cute. Wait, where's the camera? Oh my God, wait, what is this?
It's a little activity case.
That's so cute.
Well, I know you love horses.
I do love horses. And I've gotten really into like just coloring in and just like silly little activities that are so brain. Wait, this is so nice. Thank you so much.
It's just a tiny little thing.
Stickers. Oh my God. Were you the sort of person I was such an anxious kid, and whenever I got stickers, I never used them because I was like, once I use the sticker, it's gone forever. Oh, really? See, I need to do that. I need to do that.
I love to scratch and sniff.
Oh,
I had a meeting at Netflix earlier today, and they had some stickers there. Everywhere I go, I'm a kleptomaniac, so I stole some stickers.
Me too.
But I don't want to waste them because I only got one of each.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I was like, once I use it, like, I've made the choice, and it's a lifelong choice. I can't take it off again.
At the recent Heartbreak High launch party they had, the season launch, I stole so much stuff.
Babe, oh my God, I need to show you this.
I walked out, my pockets were so full.
I need to show you this photo of my best friend.
There was 2 dye.
My friend stole, my friend like walked out. She stole, what are those, I don't even know why it was there. There was like this like, those big mirror things that, they're like this kind of like circular mirror that are like traffic mirrors.
Yeah.
This bitch walked out with that. What did she carry? This bitch was stealing everything. She stole like all the posters that were on the walls, went home with her. This big ass mirror, home with her. Cardboard cutouts, went home. Pillows, like Netflix branded pillows, went home with her. Like if something was not like bolted to the ground,
she was stealing it.
It came home. My dad, for the season 1 premiere, my dad is this like very like senior, like fancy man. He walked home with this giant pink inflatable dildo. And he brings it out for special occasions.
Yeah, everyone needs a pink inflatable dildo.
Exactly.
Does it have a suction cap on it?
No, it doesn't.
Because I love a dildo with a suction cap. You can just put it on the door.
Yeah, no, this one's like huge. He like walked through the airport with it, and he brings it out for special occasions. Like we still have it. It was
your dad.
It was the centerpiece for our engagement party.
Well, this is good to hear. Heartbreak High. I don't think you would take praise that well, but maybe you do.
I love a compliment.
But you have changed the game. The show has changed the game, and the visibility through Quinn or Quinny has made so many of us feel more seen.
Thank you. Thank you.
In so many ways. Little things. Wearing headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Taking time out. Having a quiet space.
Yeah.
Those things. It's changed language with young people, or what's acceptable with young people and old people and understanding of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of that.
I am. I know the impact that Heartbreak High has had, and I know the impact that Quinny has had, but I'm only aware of that impact because I was so deeply impacted by the lack of it growing up. And so knowing that there's a character there that young people can look at and go, I relate to this, and this is someone who is vibrant and cool and multifaceted and nuanced, is so exciting, because I don't think people are aware of just how much of an impact media has on the way that we view particularly minority groups. Up until only a few years ago, if I told people I was autistic, I would get told to my face, oh, but you don't look like Sheldon Cooper, or you're nothing like Rain Man. Like, when we think of minority groups, for most of us that haven't had lived experience with them, we go to media. That's our only understanding of them. And so to now have Quinny and to have a kid be able to say, oh, I'm autistic, and have someone go, oh, like Quinny from Heartbreak High, that's so cool. But it also sucks that it took this long. Like, Quinny was incredible for who she is, and Heartbreak High was incredible for the stereotypes that they were able to break. How fucking disappointing that it took that long. Like, yeah, let's celebrate it. But also, let's talk about the fact that it did take that long. That's ridiculous.
And that we still have a long way to go.
And that we still have so long to go. Like, we really need to make Heartbreak High the absolute baseline when it comes to accurately portraying different groups. Because, yeah, it's awesome. Now let's keep that the absolute baseline. We need to make sure that everything from here on out is at least Heartbreak High.
So how do we do that? That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you and was thinking about on the way here, was how do we move forward? It's like in the mental health space, we've gotten to the point where people are like asking, are you okay? But they're not really able to receive the answer properly, or they're not sure how to answer or respond when someone gives them a truthful answer.
Yeah.
So where do we need to move forward with this? We're at a point in Australia and the world where conservatism is growing.
Yeah.
We're at a point in the world where NDIS is under attack.
Yep.
Which is terrifying to me. We're at a point in the world where, we're moving in the other direction in many ways.
Yes. Yeah. Look, it's a very multifaceted question. And it's such a loaded question. But when it comes to where to from here, particularly in the media space, 1 in 5 Australians are disabled. 1 in 5 characters in television are not disabled. And still, when there is a character that's disabled, their whole storyline is the fact that they're disabled. And I love Quinny. I love what she did. But a lot of her storyline, particularly for season 1, is the fact that she's autistic. And that was needed and that was important for the time. But it's really important that we do show characters that just so happen to be in a wheelchair, that just so happen to be autistic, that just so happen to have a mental illness, that just so happen to X, Y, Z. And that the character's disability or minority is the least important thing about them and is barely even spoken about. We also need to make sure that we are showing a range of this representation. So when it comes to autism, Quinny was a very easy version of autism to watch. She's incredibly palatable because she's very sweet and she's very cute and she's very nice and she's cool and she's digestible. She's very manic pixie dream girl. And I say that with so much love. I love Quinny, but she's very, very digestible. It is so important now that we also have versions of autism that aren't as digestible, that we see non-speaking autistic people, that we see BIPOC autistic people, that we see...
What's that, sorry?
Black and Indigenous people of color. That we see that we see autistic people from every single walk of life, not just white, cute, digestible autistic girls. And then we also need to make sure that we're having disabled people in every single aspect of the picture. Heartbreak High did so well because the characters were written from lived experience. And I think that's really obvious when you see the storytelling. I can clock straight away when I'm watching any form of media and they have like a token disabled character. It is always so obvious to me that the character was similar to when you're watching queer characters and it's really obvious that it's written by a straight person. It's really important.
Heated Rivalry was written by a straight woman.
I haven't actually watched that yet. I haven't seen that yet.
It's hot.
I've heard it's good. I know
wanna
I
go
need
to that
to.
cottage.
Yeah, I think we need to look. It's really, really important that when we're talking about diversity, we're not just talking about diversity as a tick box that people can see on screen and go, "Hooray, diversity!" We need to have disabled people in all aspects. We need to have them in writers' rooms. We need to have them as directors, as producers. We need to have people in every single aspect, not just when we can use it as a tick in our diversity hire box.
As an actor, I have pretty strong views on this. Not strong. I have views on this. As an actor, what do you think of actors who are queer have to play queer roles? Or
okay, I think this is such a nuanced discussion.
And it's a really hard question to answer.
This is such a nuanced discussion, and I'm so open to learning more and to being wrong and to understanding more from different viewpoints. My current viewpoint, disabled characters have to be played by disabled people because there are no roles for disabled people. And we're not at a point yet where disabled people are allowed to play non-disabled roles. Does that make sense? Like, a disabled person's acting capacities are extremely, extremely limited because we're not just casting a disabled person that happens to be in a non-disabled role. So when it comes to that, I won't watch something where I know that a non-disabled or able-bodied person is playing a disabled character because that role could have and should have gone to someone who won't get a job otherwise. I think that is similarly for trans characters because I think, again, we're not at a place yet where for a lot of trans actors, they would get a role that is just a role. I think for so many roles, they are specifically looking for, like, it's very specified. I think when we're talking about more other variants in the queer community, personally, I don't have issue with it because your sexuality doesn't inhibit your ability to get jobs.
Shouldn't.
Well, of course, absolutely, of course. And like I said, I'm so open to be wrong about this, but there's a lot of incredible queer actors that play straight characters,
Yeah.
I also think as well that if we are going, like, when you're disabled, obviously hidden disabilities exist, but when you're disabled, a lot of the time it's quite obvious that you're disabled, hence why you don't get the job, right? If we are saying, and I know this has happened with quite a lot of actors, if we are saying only queer people can play queer roles, and then a person gets a job that happens to be a queer role, a lot of the time they get forced into outing themselves when they're not ready yet. And that can be a really, really dangerous place for people. So I think if we are going into this really specific, only queer people and queer roles, only lesbians and lesbian roles and whatever, then people are forcing themselves out. I think it happened to one of the Stranger Things cast, didn't it? Where they
and
were
different
forced
people
out
are
of the
different
closet.
things and different things at different times.
Absolutely, 100%. I think it's such a nuanced discussion.
Yeah, I agree with you 100 million %. So basically what she said. But my basic thought is the best actor should get the role in a dream world.
Absolutely.
We don't live in a dream world.
We don't live in a dream world, like, I mean, my absolute dream, and I don't think it's definitely not going to happen in my lifetime. I don't think it'll happen ever, but ideally there's no such thing as diversity hires because like you said, the right person is given the job, but that's never going to happen. So there does have to be some limits and some tick boxes that have to be tick boxed.
What do you do to protect your mental health in a world? You said, several months ago, 8 or 9 months ago, you were like, I'm taking myself off social media. I need to put myself in and touch grass. But you also have this innate sense of needing to be loved, as I do too.
Yeah.
Completely relate. What are your non-negotiables for your mental health?
Therapy. I think everyone should have a therapist. And I think our generation is a lot better at, like, it's funny. I'll talk to my friends and be like, oh, my therapist told me XYZ this week. But then I'll go to my dad and he's like, oh, like, you can't, why did you just say publicly that you have a therapist? Like, you know,
Really?
like, yeah, it's really interesting.
Your dad's probably my age.
think-
Shit.
And like, look, my dad's a lot better now. Like, my dad is a very stubborn Irish guy with very stubborn views. But when I was growing up, my dad, this is kind of getting a bit off the rails, but I really like this story. When I was growing up, I would fight with my dad all the time because we always had different viewpoints. I would be a little kid and fighting with him about gay marriage or accessibility or Australia Day or whatever. And my dad had very conservative views. And we would have screaming matches. Like, I would be like 10 years old having screaming matches with my dad. Being 10 years old, I would start crying because my dad was yelling at me, and I'd go to my room. And my dad would drag me out of my room by my arm and say, keep fighting with me. And I thought he was being mean. But he told me later on, he's like, the reason why I'm making you fight with me is because I need you to be really strong in what you're fighting for. Because if you can fight with your dad, you can fight with anyone. And I can now. And also, my once very, very conservative dad is now very...
Got a pink dildo on the table.
Yeah, and has a pink dildo on the table.
On the coffee table. We
Yeah.
need to get him one with a suction cup.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that story.
It's a great story.
Thanks. But yeah, I think
People change.
people change.
But there's also being strong.
Yes,
Fighting is
mental
also
health,
good. There's so
mental
many points.
health. My family so important for my mental health. I owe everything that I am to my family. I owe it to my dad, who forced me to fight and forced me to stand up for my beliefs, and also wouldn't let me be a victim. My dad would never let me be a victim. Anytime I was feeling like the world was too much, or like I guess anytime I victimized myself, my dad would be like, nah, I'm not dealing with that bullshit, and would like get me out of it. But then I also had a mum who would coddle me and love on me and make me my favorite food and bring me cups of tea and would always be my safe space. My dad would like force me to walk the tightrope, and my mum would be the trampoline underneath that would catch me. And that is so, like, I am so privileged to have that support network, but I also know I wouldn't be here without the support network. So my family is a huge, huge, huge credit to.
And you've faced some shit.
I have faced
bullying,
some shit.
tough stuff.
Yeah.
Like you've been through the ringer.
I have. Yeah.
And being an advocate takes its toll. Someone said to me today, what support have you got? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. They're like, no, but what do you got? What are you doing? I'm like, nah, I'm fine. But then I was thinking, sometimes I'm not fine.
Yeah. And yeah, I think, yeah, my family is a huge part of that. My therapist is a huge part of that. But also having a life outside of advocacy and like Chloe Hayden, you know, like just being Chloe, where I'm with my horses and when I'm with my friends who couldn't care less about who I am. And with my siblings who think it's embarrassing that I'm an actor. Like existing outside of this really tiny space that I've been put in is really, really, really important, because you can suck yourself into the space and compare yourself to others, and you're never going to get anywhere by doing that.
We could talk for hours. We're going to end it there. But the final thing I always ask is, where are you on the 1 to 10 of my mental health scale, which is 10 is outstanding and 1 is pretty bloody shit.
I fluctuate.
Right now?
I reckon I'm doing pretty good today. Like I'm talking with you. I'm having a great day. Like I would say I'm going to go like a 9.
Wow.
I feel like there's always room for improvement, you know. But also in terms of, yeah, I feel like I'm like a 9 now. I'm cruising. I'm happy.
I'm probably an 8. I don't know that I've ever been a 9.
Okay. I think that's fair.
But a 9's a good place to be.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a 9.
Yeah. I think it's a 9. It's a 9 for me.
Yeah.
But you know, like that pain scale thing, how it's like, where are you in the scale? And it's like, I never know what to say because it's like, well, I've never had my arm ripped off by a bear. So like that would probably hurt more. I feel like it's like that. Like, I don't know what my scale is.
And the Chloe scale might be different to the J.Mo scale.
Exactly, 100%. Like, and like, I also think like it could be a 5, but like, you know,
You could
I think it's better to trick yourself into it. Fake it till you make it, you know?
Chloe Hayden, I adore you and you are a real treat. Thank you for coming all the way from the farm and your 37 animals, peeling yourself away from them. So coming on Mental as Anyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me for this episode. Click the follow button so you don't miss what's next. You can watch full episodes on YouTube and Spotify or dive deeper in my book, Mental as Anyone. You'll find all the key links in the description, including support numbers and resources if you need an extra hand navigating your mental health. And before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible. Chemist Warehouse has been with us from day one, and they are there for you every day with over 550 stores across the country. It's the home for variety and value, giving you everything you need to stay balanced and healthy. Visit in-store or online at chemistwarehouse.com.au to find out what feels right for you. This season, Amazon has played a special role in how we bring this show to life. The night before a recording, we'll jump on and order something small for our guests. And by the next day, it's there for them. It's those little moments that help people feel seen. So this is a genuine thank you for being part of those conversations, one delivery at a time. Amazon Prime offers free next day delivery on millions of eligible items across Australia. Shop online at amazon.com.au.